The book of Job is one of the most profound and philosophical books in the Bible. It addresses themes of suffering, faith, justice, and the mystery of God's ways. Here's a chapter-by-chapter breakdown. Before we delve into the trials that Job faced, it is essential to understand the man himself and the world he lived in. Job was a man of great integrity and faith. He lived in the land of Uz, a place of prosperity and abundance. Job was known for his unwavering devotion to God and his just and righteous ways. In Job chapter 1, we are introduced to his character and his blessings. The text says, "There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was blameless and upright, and one who feared God and shunned evil." Job had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he possessed vast wealth, including 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 female donkeys, along with a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East. Job's piety extended to his family as well. He would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offerings for each of his children, saying, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." This was Job's regular practice. The scene then shifts to a heavenly court where the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord said to Satan, "From where do you come?" Satan answered, "From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and shuns evil?" Satan challenged Job's integrity, suggesting that his faith was merely a result of his prosperity. "Does Job fear God for nothing?" Satan asked. "Have you not made a hedge around him, around his household, and around all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. But now, stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord allowed Satan to test Job, but he set a limit. "Behold, all that he has is in your power. Only do not lay a hand on his person." Thus, the stage was set for the trials that Job would endure, trials that would test his faith and fortitude to the utmost. In Job chapter 2, the test intensifies. Once again, the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. The Lord asked Satan the same question, and Satan reiterated his challenge, this time targeting Job's health. "Skin for skin," Satan said. "Yes, all that a man has he will give for his life. But stretch out your hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord permitted Satan to afflict Job's body, but forbade him from taking Job's life. Satan struck Job with painful boils from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. Despite his suffering, Job remained steadfast. His wife, seeing his misery, said to him, "Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job rebuked her, saying, "Shall we indeed accept good from God, and shall we not accept adversity?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. These opening chapters set the stage for the profound exploration of suffering, faith, and divine justice that follows. Job's unwavering faith amidst unimaginable trials makes his story a timeless testament to human resilience and the quest for understanding in the face of life's greatest challenges. The testing of Job, chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 1. Job is introduced as a righteous and wealthy man who fears God. Satan challenges God, suggesting that Job is faithful only because of his blessings. God allows Satan to test Job's faith by taking away his wealth, children, and livestock. Despite the losses, Job remains faithful. Chapter 2. Satan challenges Job's faith again, suggesting that he will curse God if his health is affected. God permits Satan to afflict Job with painful boils. Job's wife urges him to curse God and die, but he refuses and remains steadfast. 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, visit him to offer comfort. Pause 2s. The patience of Job, selected verses. Pause 2s. Chapter 3, verse 26. "I was not in safety, neither had I rest, neither was I quiet, yet trouble came." Pause 3s. Chapter 6, verses 8 to 9. "Oh, that I might have my request, and that God would grant me the thing that I long for, even that it would please God to destroy me, that he would let loose his hand and cut me off." Pause 3s. Chapter 7, verses 4 to 5. "When I lie down, I say, when shall I arise and the night be gone? And I am full of tossings to and fro unto the dawning of the day. My flesh is clothed with worms and clods of dust. My skin is broken and become loathsome." Pause 3s. chapter 19, verse 25. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. Pause 3s. Chapter 23, verses 8 to 10. Behold, I go forward, but he is not there, and backward, but I cannot perceive him. On the left hand where he doth work, but I cannot behold him. He hideth himself on the right hand, that I cannot see him. But he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. Pause 3s. Chapter 27, verses 3 to 4. All the while my breath is in me, and the Spirit of God is in my nostrils. My lips shall not speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit. Pause 3s. Chapter 31, verses 5 to 6. If I have walked with vanity, or if my foot hath hasted to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that God may know mine integrity. Pause 3s. Through these verses, we witness Job's unwavering patience and his faith in the midst of his trials. Despite his immense suffering, he holds on to his integrity and his hope in God. The dialogues Job and his friends, chapters 3 to 31. Chapter 3. Job laments his birth, cursing the day he was born. He expresses profound sorrow and questions why the innocent suffer. Chapters 4 to 5. Eliphaz's first speech. Eliphaz argues that suffering is a result of sin and urges Job to repent. He believes Job is being disciplined by God for some hidden wrongdoing. Chapters 6 to 7. Job's reply to Eliphaz. Job defends his integrity and expresses his anguish. He feels misunderstood and cries out to God, questioning his suffering. Chapters 8 to 10. Bildad's first speech and Job's reply. Bildad insists that God is just and suggests that Job's children may have sinned. Job responds by defending his righteousness and questioning why God would allow an innocent person to suffer. Chapters 11 to 14. Zophar's first speech and Job's reply. Zophar accuses Job of pride and urges him to repent to restore his fortunes. Job rebuts, insisting on his innocence and expressing frustration with his friend's assumptions. Chapters 15 to 17. Eliphaz's second speech and Job's reply. Eliphaz insists that wickedness leads to suffering, suggesting Job must have sinned. Job rejects his friend's accusations and pleads with God to defend him. Chapters 18 to 19. Bildad's second speech and Job's reply. Bildad describes the fate of the wicked, implying that it fits Job's condition. Job rebukes his friends, expresses loneliness, and declares his faith in a Redeemer who will one day vindicate him. Chapters 20 to 21. Zophar's second speech and Job's reply. Zophar reiterates that the wicked are punished swiftly. Job argues that in reality, the wicked often prosper while the righteous suffer. Chapters 22 to 24. Eliphaz's third speech and Job's reply. Eliphaz accuses Job directly of specific sins. Job responds with a strong defense of his innocence, questioning why God allows the wicked to thrive. Chapters 25 to 31. Chapter 25. Bildad's final speech. Bildad speaks briefly, asserting that no one can be pure before God. Chapters 26 to 31. Job's final speech. Job reflects on God's power and wisdom, asserts his innocence, and details his commitment to righteousness. He longs for a hearing with God to explain his suffering. The monologue of Elihu, spanning chapters 32 to 37, introduces us to a younger man who steps forward to speak. Elihu criticizes both Job and his friends, arguing that suffering can be a means of God's discipline. He suggests that this discipline serves to prevent greater sin and to refine a person's character. Elihu defends God's justice, emphasizing his greatness and wisdom, which humans cannot fully comprehend. In chapters 38 to 41, God speaks to Job out of a whirlwind. He questions Job about the mysteries of creation and the natural world. Through this dialogue, God emphasizes his sovereignty, power, and wisdom, pointing out that his ways are beyond human understanding. This revelation helps Job see his suffering from a new perspective, although God does not provide a direct answer to his questions about suffering. Chapter 42 marks Job's restoration. Job humbly repents, acknowledging God's wisdom and sovereignty. God rebukes Job's friends for their incorrect assumptions and instructs them to offer a sacrifice. Job intercedes for them, and in turn, God restores his fortunes. He blesses Job with twice as much as he had before, including new children, wealth, and a long life. The book of Job ultimately teaches that human understanding is limited, and that faith involves trusting God even without clear answers. It underscores the importance of humility before God and affirms that He is both just and wise. even when his ways are beyond human comprehension.